Welcome to Impact Farming, where we introduce you to the people and ideas that will have a massive impact on your farming operation. Brought to you by Farm Marketer. Sit down, start the engine, and let's roll with today's show.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Impact Farming Show. I have a fantastic guest with me. I have known Candace Hill for quite some time. Phenomenal gal, and she is giving a presentation today at the Advancing Women in Agriculture event here in Niagara. And Candace is the manager for special projects, Women in Agriculture for Farm Credit Canada.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to have you here too. You are an amazing gal, and I know your presentation is going to be phenomenal. And I wanted to bring Candace on the show because everything we do in life is leadership. And I really think sometimes people don't consciously think about that. I mean, we're leading ourselves, right? It's a little bit, I think of it a little bit different. And also, as farmers, we may or may not have employees. We're a mom, we're a dad, we're an auntie, we're an uncle, we're leaders to our children. We are also sometimes involved in the community, and we don't even think of that as leadership. We'll call it volunteering, community involvement, but it's leadership at the end of the day, and it's so important. And I love your message. I had the ability to preview it in advance, and Candace is going to be delivering a chat about her journey and comparing leadership to a marathon. So can you talk a little bit about your presentation you're going to be giving?
Absolutely. So I feel truly that leadership and life, it's all one and the same. And so my presentation today is all about three principles that I feel are key to living my best life, and I share those through the story of a long run.
Okay.
And, you know, because there are a lot of correlations between life and training to run a half marathon, because there's twists and turns just like in a course, and the same can be said for the journey of leadership and the journey of life. And, you know, sometimes those roads are filled with excitement and anticipation, and then there's other twists and turns that kind of take you down the path of causing worry and doubt and fears. And I feel that it's important for people to always remember that no matter where you are on that course and where you are on that journey, that just to trust the path that you're on, and to trust the journey, and to trust the process, and that it's all part of life, and that you're not the only one, right? And that everybody has the ups and downs and the twists and turns. And there's, you know, one quote that works for me that I often lean into when I'm feeling like those days aren't, you know, maybe going quite as planned, and that is, obstacles are detours in the right direction.
Nice.
And it is a quote by Gabby Bernstein, and she's the author of a book called The Universe Has Your Back. And it was, you know, as soon as I heard that quote, I instantly wrote it down, and I haven't forgot it. And there's so many times where that quote is a constant reminder that, you know, maybe today or maybe this situation isn't, you know, where I think I should be, but it's a constant reminder that I just need to trust that I am on the right path, and that, you know, I'm in this situation because I'm meant to be in this situation, and there's opportunities to learn and develop and grow from it as well.
So I love your three principles. Those are so amazing. Whoever you are, whatever you do, farmer, office worker, it doesn't matter. So let's recap though, and really let's bring it back to the agriculture audience. So principle number one.
You get out what you put in.
And you know what? Farmers are such hard workers. Such hard workers. And they completely understand this. You get out what you put in, right? And every day farmers are doing that. They work hard, sunrise to sunset. Long hours. They, for lack of better words, reap what they sow, right? And they fully understand that. So that's on the farm side. But same thing as relationships with family members, with children, with workers, community members. If you take the time and spend, you get out of that relationship what you put in. Right?
Absolutely. And, you know, I feel too that it's about being okay with asking for help. And I think that sometimes, within the agriculture community, that like we feel like we need to bear the weight of all of those responsibilities onto one person. And I feel that it's about having the courage to say, I need help, and just to share, because I think that if you, because like it starts with each of us, and we need to put up our hand and say, I need help, because sometimes people won't know that we're struggling, and like it's also about, as like people watching for the signs of maybe where somebody might be struggling, and just asking, are you okay? How can I help? Those types of things, because like it's a commitment to the relationships that we have with those on the farm, but it's also the commitment to ourselves and to those around us, because there's so many people today that struggle with mental health and all these other things too.
Absolutely.
And that I feel that the more that we can be open and communicate and be willing to ask for help and just know that we're not alone, I feel that that will help us to really just commit to the overall success of the agriculture industry and to the people in it.
Fantastic. So well said. Principle number 2.
Mind over matter.
Ooh, boy, this is a big one. I'm a farmer, and our audience are farmers. And as agriculture producers, pretty much everything we do is out of our control because of weather, right? Whether we can seed on time, whether we get the rain, the sun to make the crops grow, harvest, calving season, you name it, it is stressful. And we just mentioned that mental health is a big thing in agriculture, and mind over matter. I like when you said that, because as soon as you said that, I thought of farmers. I mean, if we sat down and actually let our minds worry about every single thing that could go wrong, no doubt. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean to you?
So what does it mean to me? It means to focus on the things that I can control, okay? And to try to silence and not worry about the things that I can't. And I feel too that sometimes we spend so much time worrying about things like weather, or worrying about commodity prices, or different things like that, and those are things that are beyond our control. And I think that we channel our energy into focusing on the things that we can, and sometimes that's our response, and sometimes that's the way that we show up, right? And it's the way that we show up to our friends and our family and to other people in choosing to be trying to be positive, but also realistic. Like I'm quite a positive person, but I don't, I choose to be that way, but I also don't believe that the world is full of kittens and rainbows and unicorns, right? Someday, sure, absolutely. But you know what? There like are those days that are going to challenge us, and it comes back to having the courage to share our fears, to look to other people to help us work through some of those situations where maybe we're not at our best, and having the courage to just open up and say, I'm not really myself today, and I'm not maybe having the best day, and kind of trying to get out of our own head, but then also recognizing when maybe other people are struggling too.
And I love that. That's a big one, because there are so many worries. And if we just bottle that up and we don't share it with our spouse, right? Often I've had many conversations with farm women, and they don't necessarily want to open up to their spouse and say, hey, this is everything I'm worried about, because they know their spouse, male, female, doesn't matter, has so much on their mind already that sometimes we hold it in. And if as a couple or farm family we just spoke about it,
totally,
it would just share the weight of those worries, right?
Absolutely. So it shares the weight, and then it's like also puts it out there, and it's kind of, like as soon as you can vocalize it, it's almost like it's freeing, because like you have other people there who are, part of it now too, and then they're there to help as well.
Oh, you feel that way? It's not just me. It's a great feeling,
right? Like, oh my goodness, I am like not alone, because like part of that is like just feeling like I am the only way, like I'm the only person that has these fears. I'm the only one who worries about everything on the farm. I'm, like the one who worries about everything that the kids do, and everything else. And I think it's about, just sharing those things, and like trying to understand understand what other people are working through, because I think sometimes it's, like I feel that I'm doing it all, but then like as soon as I have a conversation with my husband, then he's like, yeah, well, I'm the one who takes care of the car repairs and plans the trips and does all these things. And honestly, like just even having those conversations, then like I step back and go, oh, okay, well, I guess you do things, right? Because, and because like there's times where like I feel like I'm having to do it all, but a lot of that is the story that's in my own head and like making me feel like I need to do it all, but I don't. And it's just that having that courage to ask for help. Yeah,
and I could go on and on about this part for just hours on end. And one quick thing about Do More Egg, that was founded early this year. And you know what I really like about that, other than just bringing the awareness? I think a lot of people out there that were sitting at home, stressed out, worried, were going, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Why do I worry so much? And what I loved about that being founded was the fact that myself and probably many other people were going, oh, other farmers feel this way?
Yes.
It's not just me. It's not something I'm doing wrong.
Correct.
And I think when you can feel that way, again, we're going back to that, shares that the weight of the worries, right? So,
absolutely.
Okay, I love that one.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing. Principle number 3
is just be.
Just be. And what does that mean? Like, we're not supposed to just work.
Yeah, and I think it's that sometimes we get caught up in busy. And to be honest, I cannot stand the word busy. I think busy's negative. I think that it causes people to want to compete with each other. Oh, you're busy. You know what? I'm busier.
Badge of honor. Busy.
Correct. And so I have tried to make a conscious choice to remove the word busy from my vocabulary. It's hard.
Guilty.
Right? And it happens, but I'm a work in progress. And honestly, I think that if we focus on, what are the things that I should be doing right now and the things that matter, and focusing on the present moment and letting go of those distractions that are maybe out there, and focusing on finishing harvest, or focusing on getting the books done, or those types of things, and just trying to turn off all of the other noise and just being in that present moment and just sort of finding that flow can really help us to feel a lot more productive. And I think as parents, right, like I have 3 stepchildren, and kids grow up fast, and there's different people are at different stages of their families, and as somebody who has older stepchildren who have all graduated, I miss the times when they were 8 and 10 and we were running in 3 different directions and running to soccer and running to dance and doing all these things, because today, when 2 out of the 3 are away at university, I actually miss those times, and I kind of wish that those would come back. And the thing is that you can't get those moments back. So I feel that if we can try to turn off the noise, focus on enjoying where we are today in this moment, it just creates such a more meaningful, deeper connection with the people. And I feel that it helps us appreciate where we are and the journey that we're on.
I love it. And I think farmers too, they're such busy individuals, and I'm going to throw myself under the bus because guilty as charged. One day I was at home and I was doing some fencing, and I had so many errands and so many things to do that day. Of course, I had that big to-do list, and I was doing this fencing, and I was feeling a little bit grouchy, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I looked up and I looked out. My cattle were in this pasture, my horse was over here, and I looked up and I said, I work so hard, and this is for the farmers out there. We work so hard, we're rushing. I wasn't taking the moment, the time to just stop and go, wow,
I know.
I own this. This is mine. I work so hard to provide this. And, sometimes we get caught in busy, we forget to enjoy the thing we work so hard for. So
absolutely. And like that to me kind of comes back to gratefulness as well. And like it's like being able to just catch ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody's perfect when it comes, like nobody's perfect in general. Like we're all human, so that's like the first thing. And it's a matter of of just trying to catch ourselves and just notice when we're maybe out of the present moment and just starting to bring ourselves back to that. And honestly, like the more we do it, like it's like practicing a sport or anything, right? Like we're not, good at volleyball the first time that we play it. It takes time and it takes effort, right? And I think too for new farmers and those types of things too, like it's about giving yourself permission to just be okay where you are and giving yourself permission to learn and develop, and to also recognize that not every day things are going to go as planned, and it's and then like it comes back to on those moments, like just as like you described, like when you're standing there, appreciate those, because those are great reminders in your mind on the days that aren't so good of, okay, you know what, I think back to yesterday and this moment when I stood here and how I was feeling, I want to go back to that moment, right? And it's just because those are the memories that you can lean into on the not so good days too, and they're also great reminders that no matter how crazy your day is and no matter how maybe downhill your day went, that there's at least something to be grateful for in a day. And honestly, like there's days where I'm grateful for not losing my mind in a meeting, and that's okay, because that's life and that's just the way it is. And I think that the more that people can just focus on here and now and these connections and the relationships that we have with people, that the more resilient we'll all become.
I love it. And I think what a powerful message for our audience. And I am so grateful that you came on the show and shared your message with us. If our audience is looking to connect with you, I know you're on social media and you're a blast to follow.
Oh, thank you.
How can they connect with you?
So I mainly through, as far as connection with the agriculture community, I do a lot of that more on Twitter.
Okay.
So Candace_Hill 728.
Okay.
I also have a Facebook page, and that's more my connection to friends and family, but feel free to find me there. Okay. And but most of the way that I like to connect with the agriculture industry, because they've taught me a lot too, not being from a farm, has been on Twitter. So
Egg Twitter.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Oh, I don't do handshakes, we do hugs. So
okay.
Thank you.
And you know what, guys? Follow Candace. You will absolutely love following her on Twitter. Thank you so much for joining us. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
You've been listening to Impact Farming. For more great episodes and articles designed to help you manage and grow your farming operation, head on over to farmmarketer.com. Don't forget to sign up while you're there. We will see you on the next episode.